What's up YouTube, I'm EVscape and welcome back to another video. Currently just out here on my ult preparing to do the Felidor Elite Diary so that I can go ahead and do my 10 hours of the Giant Mole with the Twisted Bow. However, today we do have a Bandos guide, a solo Bandos guide for noobs. You guys know I like to do guides for new players that obviously haven't been in the game too long, because back in the day, I was one of those noobs, and I wish I had someone to teach me how to do all the bosses. For the most part, I had to pretty much learn myself. I had a few friends teach me how to do it, but you guys know I like to put out those guides out there for the noobs, help out the new players. So that's what we've got today, a Bandos guide for noobs coming to your eardrums and your eye holes. With that being said, boys, Bob's your uncle. Let's crack into it. Alrighty guys, we are back with another guide. This time we have a guide on soloing the General Grador, the Bandos General. This is probably one of my favorite bosses in old school. I certainly enjoy doing quite a few different methods at this boss, and there are quite a few different methods to soloing this boss. There's the mage method, there is the just tanking method, there is the mage minion flicking, mage range minion flicking, and then there is the ACB method. In this video, we're not going to be going over the mage, the double minion flicking, or the ACB method, as this is just going to be a complete solo Bandos guide for noobs. It's just going to be your first time getting in there, just getting into it. If you guys would like to see me make a video on the more in-depth methods, let me know. I am not the best at them, but once I do become proficient at them, I'm more than happy to make a guide on them. However, the other two methods, I know how to do to a T, so I'm going to be able to guide you guys on how to do them today. So the first thing that we're going to be going over when we talk about doing the Gandos Boss is going over the gear setup. Okie dokie guys, as always, I'm going to be going with pretty much the cheapest setup you can be going for, and then I'll just allow you guys to make the upgrades as you go. What you're going to want to be starting out with is some tank legs. Torag's legs are very good. Obviously, you can upgrade them to the Gandos tassets. Basically, what you're going for here is maximum range defensive bonus. Then with the Serpentine helm, this is only 3 to 4 mil at the moment. You could downgrade that to a Helm of Nature's Knot, but the Serp helm is definitely going to be the best in slot here. So no upgrades there, but it's not super expensive. Fire Cape, obviously. Torture is the best here. However, you can downgrade to a Fury. That does give you some more defensive bonuses, but the attack bonuses of the Torture are just too good to miss. Now, you can choose between the Dragon Defender and the Crystal Shield here. However, I think the Dragon Defender is definitely the best. The quicker you get Bandos down, the less damage you're going to be taking. So a good offense is a good defense in this case. But depending on how you feel, guys, just go out and have a feel for it at Bandos. If you prefer the Defender or the Crystal Shield, you're going to take less damage in the Crystal Shield during the kill, but you're going to get quicker kills with the Dragon Defender. Weapon, you definitely want a Tentacle in your Abyssal Whip. Other than that, you can try out the Zamorakian Hasta, you can try out the Grazi Rapier, stuff along those lines, but you definitely want a single-handed weapon here to go along with your Dragon Defender. Primordial Boots are an obvious upgrade here against the Dragon Boots, and Berserkering Eye is the best in slot. Once again, not too expensive here. This is for the Mage method. That is why you want the Black D-Eyed Body, just to give you some magic defense bonus. However, if you can afford it, definitely upgrade to a Carol's Top. You don't want to upgrade to an Armadillo top if you can afford that, because the Armadillo top is going to give you negative attack bonuses. So a Carol's Body would be best in slot here for the Mage tanking method. Now, if you're going to be doing the Mage flicking method, which is the second method we'll get into tonight, you definitely just want a tank body to go along with your rest of your setup. So Torag's plate body, however, upgrading to Bandos will also work. So if you want to go for maximum here, you'd obviously go with the Avernic Defender, Bandos Plate Body, Bandos Tassets, and the Infernal Cape here with the Grazi Rapier and the Ferocious Gloves. So you can go absolute maximum melee in the second method. However, for the first method, you definitely want that magic defense body. just to help out with that magic defense. So now that we have the gear set up, we'll move on into the inventory, as well as having a war blessing in here for your Bandos item, unless you have some Bandos tassets. You want to take a Zamorak item in with you as well. I take my Zamorak cape just so that when I'm getting kill count, I don't get attacked by all the Zamorak minions. You want to have a spec weapon that is going to lower the defense, either a Dragon Warhammer or a Bandos God Sword. Keep in mind that if you don't have either of these and you can't afford it, then no defense lowering is still viable. However, I would highly, highly recommend having a defense lowering weapon such as a Dragon Warhammer or a Bandos God Sword. However, like I said, they are quite expensive. If you can't afford them, it is fine. It'll still work, but it is highly, highly recommended. As for the rest of the inventory, you're going to want to be taking 3 super restores, 2 Saradomin brews, and 1 super combat potion. As you get better and more proficient at doing solo Bandos, you can increase the restore count because you're going to be staying there for more kills. And you can increase the brew count if you'd like, as well as the super combats. But as for the early stages, you're going to be getting 2 to 3 kills per trip as you're learning. So you want to be taking 3 restores, 2 brews, and that 1 potion. And then just fill the rest of your inventory with high healing food, either manta rays or anglerfish. If you're feeling very, very frisky and you're feeling like you're going to be taking a lot of damage, you can also go ahead and take some Karamba ones as well as a combo food. On top of that, guys, you're also going to want a couple of Bones to Peaches tabs and a Trollheim teleport. I take the Trollheim teleport tabs because you can just revert them into a house tab once you get there, and that is your teleport out. Now, for Bandos, because you can kill these little goblins here, it is not worth getting ecumenical keys. It's way quicker to just kill the goblins. So just smack them down for your 40 kill count, and it's going to be quicker than getting the keys overall. One thing I will say is if you do bring a defense lowering weapon, such as a Dragon Warhammer or a Bandos God Sword, use that for the kill count rather than your Abyssal Tentacle, because you will definitely save a lot of charges and it's definitely worth saving the money. So 40 kill count rather than the ecumenical keys, and chuck on your defense lowering weapon to save charges. And now, boys, the hardest part of actually soloing Bandos is finding a free world. And number one thing to remember, once again, is if you do happen to hop into a world and you right click look up someone and you find their name on the Iron Man high scores, much like my man Bebo Bang here, then you just walk in. An Iron Man in multi is a free world. Once again, joking. It was a joke. Don't crash Iron Man. In fact, just don't crash anyone. It's not nice. Okay, guys, so the first thing we're going to be taking a look at here is the just tanking method, where you just tank the mage hit. Make sure you have your fire cape on and you super combat it and healed up before you go in, praying melee and piety. Now, on the entry kill, this is the most important one. You want to throw in both of your Dragon Warhammer specs if you missed the first one. If you hit the first one, that's fine. You only need to throw one in. But if you miss the first hit, you definitely want to throw the second one in, because the entry kill is the kill that is the most messed up for the most part, and you're not going to be in the groove. So first kill, you want to throw in both of your special attacks. Now, the only thing you really need to know about the tanking method, it is very simple, is every 2 hits, step underneath General Grador for 2 ticks. Because General Grador attacks every 6 ticks, you get 2 hits in with your whip per 1 hit for him, whereas normally you would get 3 for 2. This way, you're going to be getting 4 for 2 rather than 3 for 2, because every 12 ticks, he would attack you twice, and you would attack him 3 times if you don't move. But if you stand under him after every second hit, you waste 2 ticks for him, and you save 2 ticks for yourself. I know that sounds super nerdy and fucking tick-like, but the best thing you can do is just every 2 hits with a whip, stand under him for a second and a half, and then come back out for your next hit. That way, you're going to save a lot of damage against Grador, because most of the damage in these kills is going to be coming from Grador doing his special attack, which is a ranged attack, as you see there, which you're not praying against. So every 2 hits, step underneath the boss, And then once the boss goes down, you're going to want to go ahead and pray ranged here. That is the minion you're going to be taking most of your damage from, and just kill off the minions. Right, for the rest of the kills in the trip, guys, you want to make sure that you are stood right here as right next to the boss, meaning you're going to be able to get a hit off straight away. Praying melee and piety again, chucking your Dragon Warhammer spec, and then straight after you throw your spec, stand underneath Grador. That's going to allow you to not take a hit from Grador before you get a hit off on him. Once again, just saving some damage there. And once again, after every 2 hits, just go ahead and stand on underneath Grador. If you need to heal up, make sure you stand underneath him as well. And just every 2 hits, move under and move back out. You're going to get pretty decent kill trips here. 2 to 3 kill trips using this method. Obviously, the better your gear is, the longer your trips are going to be. But in this trip, even with pretty budget gear, I managed to get myself 3 kills in this trip. Also depends on whether you get some supply drops from the minions and stuff like that. So the main things to remember, every 2 hits, stand underneath the boss. As you get your first Dragon Warhammer hit, as soon as you hit, step underneath the boss again, and you won't get hit. So that's the best way to save some hit points. Now that's pretty much all you need to know about the tanking method. That is just tanking all of the minions. After you get the kill on all of the minions, you can go ahead and pray at the altar for some extra prayer points. And that's going to allow you to stay for a little bit longer if you do run out of restores. Once you get more proficient at this method, you're able to bring more restores along. And of course, once you get better gear and stuff like that, you can upgrade to more restores as well. That's going to allow you to stay here for a lot longer. Okay, next up is the flicking the mage minion method. The only thing different about this one on the entry kill is that if Gandos is a little while away from the door, on entry, rather than praying melee, you want to pray mage. And then as Gandos approaches you, you want to go ahead and flick over to melee. Once you have your Dragon Warhammer specs off, you need to just take a look at the mage minion and notice what tick it is on. The one thing that you need to know about this method is that the mage minion will attack every 5 ticks and the boss will attack every 6 ticks. So you need to take a look at the mage minion, see what tick it's attacking on, and then every 5 ticks, flick over to mage and then flick back to melee. This being said, obviously, since the boss attacks on 6 ticks and the mage minion attacks on 5 ticks, they're going to be off-ticked every so often. Every 5 ticks, they're going to be on the same tick. So you need to know that every 5 hits, you're going to have to stand under the boss for 1 tick and miss out on a hit so that you can flick the mage minion. Either that, or you can just miss a flick every 6 hits and tank one of the mage hits, but you're better off standing under the boss. As you can see here, I go ahead and stand underneath the boss, pray mage, click on the boss, and then click on my pray melee. This is going to allow me to have the most amount of hits before the next rotation joins back up. Now, after the entry kill is done, you want to go ahead and stand in the square that I'm stood at right here. This is the square right next to where the mage minion spawns. The square that it spawns is highlighted right there. As you can see, it will spawn right next to me. And then what you're going to want to do is stand here with your mage prayer up and wait until Grador approaches you before you go ahead and pray melee. This is going to allow you to skip the mage minion's hit. As you can see here, after that, it's just exactly the same. Every 5 ticks, I'll switch over to the mage attack and then switch back to the melee. And then every 5 hits, I'll go ahead and stand underneath the boss so that I can go ahead and miss out on that 1 hit. Once again, guys, if you do need to heal up, the best thing to do is go ahead and stand underneath General Grador and just eat up with your mage prayer on. Because Grador can't hit you, you're better off just praying mage whilst you're underneath him. Now, I know to a lot of people what I've just said during the mage flicking method might sound like absolute gibberish, talking about 5 ticks and 6 ticks and stuff like that. But trust me, after a little while, you will just get the hang of it. It will just click over. What I would highly recommend doing is, if it does sound like gibberish and you don't really understand it, is just do the normal tanking method. And then every so often, if you look over at the mage minion and you feel as though you can get the flick right, try and flick the mage minion every so often. Then eventually it will just click and you'll be able to flick the mage minion, no worries. Doing this method will increase your trips from 2 to 3 kills to upwards of 6 to 7, sometimes even 8 or 9 kills, you know, if you have the right gear and you get the flicks perfect. So it definitely increases the amount of kills you can get per hour by a lot. And it is 100% worth learning. So that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for the solo Bandos method. Like I said in the video, if it is your first time and you are just a straight noob at Bandos, and you're trying to solo it, I would highly recommend just doing the tanking method and then just slowly trying to learn how to flick the mage. If you've already done a bit of solo Bandos in the past and you're pretty comfortable with it, maybe just try and jump on into the mage method. And then, like I said, if you guys want to see me do another guide on the more advanced methods, the mage method, the flicking both minions method, or the Armadillo crossbow method, let me know down in the comment section below and we can get that sorted. But as of today, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one tomorrow. Take it easy. Yo, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode in EV365. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out a new video every single day this year. Don't forget to click that bell icon as well so you get notified when it comes out. If you guys really enjoyed a video, you could also leave a like. That really helps out the channel to get the videos in suggested, and it's really good for channel growth. On top of that, if you are enjoying the videos and want to see some of these things get made live as they happen, I stream 5 days a week over on Twitch. Crazy stuff like this goes down very often. Boys!
Oh no, I know that noise. Oh, you have to.
I'm safe.
Oh, no,
I'm safe.
please.
I'm safe.
How much cash is that?
124 mil. Holy fuck. Muscles.
Hey, disgusting.
Did you just fart?
Fucking disgusting.
And if you just want to keep up with my day-to-day wheelings and dealings, you can also follow me over on Twitter at EVscapeOfficial. All links will be in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Take it easy. Oh my god, I bet you got killed by a fucking bear. Oh my god.